Now, before we get into opinions, just watch how fast everything flips when it gets real. 1 second is jokes, narratives, talking points. The next second, the White House is on lockdown and everybody suddenly remembers reality exists.
Press briefing room, this area is closed. Press briefing room.
So, right here, it says, breaking, the White House is on lockdown following a shooting nearby, with press being pushed into the briefing room. President Trump is safe, thank God. This is happening far too often anymore. You think the press will finally realize their fake news is a clear and present danger to our country, but no. Just agents moving, closing doors, and everybody inside realizing this ain't content anymore. And I want you to notice something subtle. When this kind of situation happens, nobody in the room, in that room, is asking, wait, which side started that? Which side started this? Nah, they just want to be safe. But 5 minutes before that, same ecosystem, same voices, different energy. Let's rewind that energy real quick.
How has his policies, what pain has his policies caused you?
What pain has these policies caused me?
Yep.
None, bro, because I'm old enough to remember Bush's last administration and how the gas prices and food prices, COVID, Joe Biden's policies. I think the only thing that changed is the way y'all radicalized the media against Donald Trump. That's why people trying to kill him, because the media is pumping in their head that this man is this, that, and the third, and it's like, bro, where y'all been at? Y'all been living under a rock? Like, this been going on.
It definitely has been going on, but we can't sit here and act like he hasn't implemented policies that have made things extremely worse, bro. Like, we have no business.
Like what?
We have no business being in a war in Iran.
We ain't had no business being in a war in Iraq.
That is a fact too. But we're acting like people weren't radicalized to do things to Bush too. Like, assassination attempts against presidents isn't anything new.
Well, they was trying to kill Bush. I remember somebody throwing a shoe at him. I don't remember nobody shooting his ear off.
Yes, bro. I mean, no. I mean, he didn't get shot or anything like that. But yes, these presidents be having assassination attempts. Barack Obama had 13.
I remember somebody throwing a shoe. I don't remember nobody trying to shoot his ear off.
Listen, the times are different.
Like, I don't think so, man. I think I'm old enough to remember that America always been this way. The only thing that changed is the media, the propaganda.
But you don't even think that a lot of that changed because of Trump and the way that he speaks? Like, people feel a lot more free now. You don't feel that?
I hung up on him. My bad.
Oh.
Yep. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because that caller didn't come in screaming nonsense. He came in connecting dots people usually, that media, Breakfast Club usually tiptoe around. Charlamagne speaking to him, but DJ Envy hung up. Not debated, not challenged. He hung up on him. That's the part nobody wants to deal with. Think about the question that they asking. Trump's, I guess it's legitimate. I won't do that. I guess it's just where it's coming from in the merit. It's where I'm more centered on. But again, that's the part nobody wants to deal with. Not whether you agree with the caller, but why certain conversations get shut down the second they get uncomfortable. I mean, because think about what he's saying. If you spend years telling people, someone is dangerous, evil, a threat to everything, what exactly do you think unstable people are going to do with that information? Clap politely? Nah, man, people going to take that literally. But let's just keep stacking this.
All we're asking is for you to stop trying to kill our president. Now, I want to be really clear. This is not a both sides issue. The only people trying to kill somebody else is the left trying to kill the right. You do realize that Barack Obama and Joe Biden were fairly hated individuals. Did anybody on the right try to assassinate either of them? No. But basically every day you wake up, somebody else that is obsessed with the leftist talking points and fills their manifesto full of them attempts to kill our presidents. All we're asking is for you to stop trying to kill our president. I feel like that's not a big ask. All we're asking is for you to stop trying to kill our president. Now,
it's not a big ask. Now, he comes in with a take that a lot of people instantly want to dismiss, but instead of reacting, Just ask yourself one question. Why does this conversation only get serious after something almost happens? Because before that, it's all entertainment. People saying wild things, calling for extremes, throwing labels around like it's a game. Then somebody like you know, the lockdown. Then, well, how do I say this? The lockdown happens. It hits, and suddenly everybody wants to act shocked, like they weren't just pouring gasoline on everything 5 minutes ago. Like, and it's another part they don't like admitting. You don't get escalation without constant pressure. And let me just say that constant pressure doesn't come from nowhere.
Imagine the reaction to White History Month. Imagine the headlines over an all-white scholarship. Imagine the outrage over white entertainment television. Imagine the backlash if white-owned businesses were openly promoted just because they were white-owned. You already know what would happen. Media outrage, cancel culture, but swap the words and suddenly it's different. Then it's called empowerment. Then it's called representation. Everybody gets told to be proud of who they are. But the minute a white person says, I'm proud to be white in America, it's not taken as pride. It's racism. Instantly. No questions asked. You are expected to feel guilty for a skin color you did not choose. Judged for how you were born. Blamed for history you did not live. Told your identity is the only one that must come with shame attached. Think about how absurd that is.
Yeah, it's pretty absurd. This right here, this is the foundation of the whole mess, because once people feel like the rules aren't consistent, that certain things are allowed for one group but not another, that's when frustration, man, it starts building quietly. Not loud, not even dramatic, just sitting there stacking. And when people feel like they can't even question it without getting labeled, they don't stop thinking about it. They just stop saying it publicly. Until moments like everything you're watching right now. But let me speed this up because I already know they're going to trip about that one.
It's amazing to me that somebody like you, who to me just speaks common sense and science and a straight arrow, I mean, piano playing, just like brilliant. We get it. And yet, I bet you there's a lot of people, because you said the Times attacked you and tried to get me to throw you under the bus, who, for them, you're just some sort of right-winger. Mm-hmm. Because you won't go, the same thing they say with me, and I'm not.
Because I'm saying that girls should be cutting off
Yeah, just right. Just because I won't go along with the nonsense. I won't go along with the crazy. I am somehow, in your view, you want to put me in this other category. And I've said this before, like they've driven a lot of people like Joe Rogan and Elon Musk, people who are not conservative people, who are actually liberal heroes for a long time. They've driven them into the conservative side because they were so like unacceptably not super woke just because they wouldn't go along with the bullshit.
Yeah.
And they're not going to do it to me. I don't think they're going to do it to you. You know, you're not going to get me onto your side, but you know what? You're not going to stop me from calling you out when you're crazy, because there is a lot of crazy. Ask Donald Trump. It got him elected.
But also what I find interesting about like extreme progressives is they ignore all this other stuff that would, for an average person, they would say, yeah, this person is at least balanced or reasonable, and they want to put you in the crazy category. So it's easier just to dismiss everything you say.
Yep. And this is where it really starts falling apart for them, because when somebody like, you know, Bill Maher, not exactly a right-wing guy, starts saying, yeah, this went too far, it's not a small crack. It's definitely a warning sign. When your own side starts backing away from the energy that you created, and we've been seeing this pretty consistently from him and others, that's when you know it's not sustainable. You can't keep pushing people, labeling people, dismissing people, then not confused when people stop playing along. Some people walk away, some people push back, and some people take things just way too far. The last group, that's the one nobody wants to talk about until it's just too late.
And did you tone down the rhetoric last summer when all of this was happening? Did you condemn the rioters, or did you stand with Nancy Pelosi, who said, people are going to do what they're going to do?
This is a movement, I'm telling you. They're not going to stop. And everyone beware, because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after.
Destroying property which can be replaced is not violent.
This is an apartment complex on fire, and it just collapsed. The building just collapsed.
I have nowhere to go now. These people did this for no reason.
This is just a snapshot of some of the damage the people will be waking up to.
Going on, but police clearly.
I'm proud of New York, and I'm proud of the protests.
There is damage everywhere you look. Honestly, it looks like a war zone.
Heartwarming to see so many people turn out peacefully.
They keep doing it day after day after day. Our country is a nation of protests. The Patriots were protesters.
At this point, it almost feels like both parties are fine with unrest as long as it benefits their side politically. We just saw key Democrats praise the Summer of Love and then completely ignore the fact that it led to the destruction of federal buildings and the looting of private businesses. On the other hand, some people still defend what happened at the Capitol on January 6th. Sure, comparing the two can blur the lines, but the bigger issue is how each side just picks what to focus on. The left keeps the spotlight on January 6th while brushing past the Black Lives Matter riots, and the right does the exact opposite. The point I'm making is that this is simply a matter of consistency and applying the same standard across the board. But where the lawyer really took control was when he rolled a clip showing multiple Democrats challenging election results. Take a look at that.
You claim that it's wrong to object to the certification of election results. You, along with your allies in the media, attempted to cancel and censor members of this chamber who voiced concerns and objected to certification. Manager Raskin, you'd been in Congress only 3 days when you objected in 2017. It's one of the first things you did when you got here.
I have an objection because 10 of the 29 electoral votes cast by Florida were cast by electors not lawfully certified.
Is the objection in writing and signed not only by the member of the House of Representatives, but also by a senator?
It is in writing, Mr. President.
Is it signed by a senator?
Not as of yet, Mr. President.
In that case, the objection cannot be entertained.
Mr. President, I object to the certificate from the state of Georgia on the grounds that the electoral votes were not...
Debate. There's no debate.
And I object to a certificate from the state of North Carolina based on violations of the Voting Rights Act.
There's no debate in the joint session.
I object to the 15 votes from the state of North Carolina because of the massive voter suppression and the closing of polling booths.
There's no debate. There's no debate.
The objection is in writing, and I don't care that it is not signed by a member of the Senate. I do not wish to debate. I wish to ask, is there one United States senator who will join me in this letter of
objection? There's no debate.
The objection is signed by a member of the House, but not yet by a member of the Senate.
It is over.
What makes this even more interesting is that before the certification session of the 2016 elections, Nancy Pelosi, who was the House Minority Leader at the time, told reporters she supported the rationale of protesting lawmakers, which were mainly based on things like voter suppression and Russia interference. And this wasn't their last attempt.
And now you're looking at a long memory because people don't forget what they've seen over the years. What got called peaceful, what got called dangerous, what got defended, what got condemned. All of that stacked. So when something like today happens, it doesn't exist by itself. It's part of a bigger story people have been watching build for a long time. And whether people want to admit it or not, the reactions aren't random. They are accumulated. So let's bring it back to the beginning. A lockdown, a caller gets hung up on, voices raising alarms, others finally admitting things just went too far. Different clips, same underlying issue. You can't spend years escalating the temperature and then act surprised when a room gets hot. At some point, reality is going to interrupt that narrative, not gently either, and all at once. And when it does, nobody's worried about being right anymore. They're just hoping it doesn't go any further. So, if you made it to the end of this video, I want you to put turn down the heat in the comment section for me. Y'all be safe. Go check with somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.